In another video, I mentioned that you could get a PDF copy of the vanilla game guide from the classics section on Blizzard's webpage. I think this is the first version of it, describing how the game worked in early vanilla. Some things were changed throughout vanilla, but it's still interesting reading through it. Which is why I did it for you, so you don't have to read anything. I cut out the pages that, in my opinion, had something interesting on them. Note that you can see which page I'm on in the lower left corner. So starting off at page 14, you can read about the gender differences in Azeroth, and apparently the only difference between the sexes is the appearance. Here they talk about sitting and health regeneration, which I've mentioned quite a lot here and there now, but I still think it's interesting. Apparently, it was stated very early on in the game's history in a game guide. However, I had played retail and vanilla servers for 12 years before I actually learned it. Maybe there are more things which should be common knowledge but isn't throughout this guide. Here, it's mentioned that sometimes you just don't get anything at all from a mob. They also mentioned that you gain both a flat health increase and stamina on top of that when you level up. At least most of the levels. How much bonus health each class gets will be covered in my series about stats and what they do. If we're so far into the future that I've already made the video, the link will be in the description. In this section about dying, we see that it's truly an old game guide. As of this guide's writing, resurrecting at a spirit healer doesn't give you resurrection sickness, instead you lose experience. You could, however, not level down by losing experience. How much experience you lost, I don't know, but a significant portion, so maybe 2 bars at least. They also state that out of the different resurrection spells, some are stronger than others, meaning you're revived with more health and more mana. The click to move option can be found in the interface menu. Right-clicking will move your character to the spot you clicked on, like in Diablo. If you right-clicked an NPC which you can interact with, you will run up to the NPC and interact with it. For example, open up a quest. If you right-click a neutral or hostile NPC, you will run up and start auto-attacking it. It also states that if you click an ability with a targeted mob, but you're out of range, you will automatically run into range and use the ability, which sounds really neat. I couldn't get that to work, however, when I tried. Note that I did not try this on beta. As you can see, if you haven't noticed already, the images are of very poor quality. Reading through the attributes explanations, the stamina one is a bit interesting. It states that classes designed to absorb damage, such as paladins or warriors, benefits more from stamina than others. It is not clear whether they mean that stamina is more important for a warrior compared to a mage, or that warriors get more health from each point of stamina. As for intellect, it apparently maybe increases the chance to gain a skill point when attacking with a weapon. The explanation for spirit leads you to believe it is maybe not linear. If a high spirit gives a much faster regeneration, while a low spirit gives a reduced, this suggests a non-linear curve. But like I said before, it is an old guide and things have changed throughout the patches. On the next page, our question about stamina is answered. Apparently, at some point in the game, classes just straight up gain different amounts of health from stamina. Platecasters would gain the most, while spellcasters would gain the least. They also talk about the flat mana increase, and tells you which classes that gets the most. Pure spellcasters, like mages and priests, gain more than hybrids like druids and shamans. Hunters and paladins get even less. They also state that the amount of mana each class gets from intellect differs. They suggest questing is the fastest way to level, as opposed to grinding. Here they also mention rested XP, which purpose appears to be help people catch up to their friends if they've been away from the game. If you log out in an inn, It takes more than a week to get the full 1.5 levels of rested experience. They also mention that rested experience only affects experience gained from killing monsters. Briefly, they mention that shamans have earth, fire and water skills, which I found funny as I always thought shamans had earth, fire and nature abilities. But, at least according to this, they used to have water abilities. When talking about gear quality, grey items are poor quality items, whites are common quality, green are uncommon, blue are rare, and purples are of course epics. They also hint that there may be even more powerful items, hinting at legendaries and perhaps even something more. As I was trying to find a date for when this guide was made, I found another vanilla guide, which was a later version at least. There are found some very interesting things, such as this. This list, showing gear qualities, not only states legendaries, but also golden weapons, artifacts. I happen to know that Frostmourne have been in the game files since vanilla. Can you guess which color the name of that weapon was? There were a bunch of things in the game files which are never seen in game. You can find videos of that on YouTube. Eventually, artifacts were added, but that wasn't until Legion in August of 2016. Vanilla was released in November of 2004, so apparently artifacts were an idea for almost 12 years until they were actually used. When talking about different weapons, apparently there are common weapon skills, namely one-handed axes, maces and swords, and daggers and unarmed. Advanced skills are crossbow, fist weapons, bows or guns, polearms and spears, which apparently were their own weapon class, staves, two-handed axes, maces and swords. As seen here, besides the weapon skills, magic skills were a thing. By casting spells, you would gain skill points in that scroll of magic, such as fire or frost, etc. If you watched a streamer play Shadowfang Keep on the classic beta, you might have noticed a curse casted by some of the mobs, which periodically reduces skills. That includes magic skills. Magic skills were removed from the game with a patch, but the curse, which reduces them, was left in the game. Either way, this video is starting to get a bit long. I'll upload part 2 sometime in the near future. I hope you enjoyed my summary of the vanilla guide you can get from the classic page on the web. If you have any tips on how I can improve my videos, please write so in a comment below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.